Hello everyone and welcome back to Mysterious Murmurs. I know many of you use these videos to fall asleep, so before you drift off I'd love it if you could leave a comment letting me know where you're listening from around the world. Also don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this video. Story name: The Library of Burning Faces. The first time Owen heard the book's whisper, he thought he was imagining it. It was late, almost closing time at Holloway Public Library. The place was nearly empty except for an old man dozing at a table near the history section and a college kid hunched over a laptop, headphones in, lost in whatever world he was building on the screen. Owen had been working at the library for almost 6 months. Mostly shelving books, stamping returns, and making sure no one tried to sneak out with something they shouldn't. It was a quiet job, peaceful, until tonight. Because tonight, the books were talking. Not loudly, not all at once. Just a faint murmuring, like a room full of people whispering at the same time, their voices layered over each other, too soft to make out the words but too real to ignore. Owen froze in the dimly lit aisle between fiction and horror, a copy of Salem's Lot in his hand. He turned his head slowly. The books sat neatly in their places, their covers smooth, their pages tucked away. Silent, still. And then, just as he was about to shake it off, a single book slid forward. Not much, just an inch. Like something inside it was leaning closer. Owen's breath caught. He stepped forward, reached out. His fingers brushed the spine. The book was warm, too warm, like it had been sitting in front of a fire. And when he pulled it from the shelf, something stared back at him. Not words, not a title, a face, burning. Screaming, frozen in the cover like it had been trapped there. And before Owen could move, before he could even think, the book breathed, and the library lights went out. The darkness swallowed the library whole. Owen's breath hitched. He stood frozen, the burning face on the book cover still staring at him, its mouth twisted in a silent scream. The whispers didn't stop. If anything, they grew louder, more urgent. Owen took a shaky step back, clutching the book to his chest like a shield. His fingers trembled against the warm cover, and for the first time, he realized something. The face was moving, not fast, not all at once, but slowly, painfully, like something trapped under a layer of skin, trying to claw its way out. The air smelled wrong now. Not the usual scent of old paper and ink, but something burnt, like flesh, like hair. A shadow shifted near the front desk. Owen's breath hitched. Hello. Silence. The old man who had been dozing at the table was gone. The college kid? Gone. The library was empty. At least it should have been. The whispers swelled. Owen's grip on the book tightened. His pulse hammered in his ears as he took slow, measured steps toward the front desk. The emergency exit sign above the doors cast a dull red glow, the only light left in the building. And then, from the darkness, something moved. Not a person. Not exactly. It was too tall, too thin. Its shape flickered, like it wasn't quite solid. Owen stumbled back. His foot hit a book cart, sent it clattering to the ground. The sound echoed like a gunshot. The thing jerked its head toward him. Owen's stomach dropped. It had no face. Just a smooth stretch of paper-white skin, as if someone had erased its features. It lifted an arm. Long fingers curled like ink-dipped talons. And then it spoke. Put it back. The voice didn't come from its mouth, because it had none. It came from the books. from all around him. Put it back. Owen's grip on the burning book tightened. Something inside him told him, knew, that if he put it back, the thing would let him go. But another part of him, a darker part, wanted to open it. The thing took a step closer. Its limbs cracked like breaking spines. Owen's breath came fast. He had to run, but his fingers, they were already turning the cover. The book opened, and the library screamed. The shelves trembled. The air split apart, filling with the sound of burning pages and howling voices. The thing in the darkness jerked back, its faceless head twisting toward the ceiling as the whispering became shrieking. And then, Owen was falling, not onto the floor, not into the library, into something else. The world twisted, stretched, and then he landed in a room. Not a room, a hallway. The walls weren't made of brick or wood. They were made of books. Thousands, millions, all stacked, row after row, stretching into an endless, suffocating darkness. And every single cover had a face. Screaming, burning. Owen's stomach lurched. He spun around, looking for a door, a window, anything. But there was nothing. Only the books. And in the distance, footsteps. Slow, steady, growing closer. A voice, deep and cracking like fire, slithered through the shadows. You shouldn't have opened it. Owen's breath hitched. Something was coming. Something big. And the worst part? The books weren't whispering anymore. They were laughing. Owen ran. He didn't know where he was going. He just knew he couldn't stay. His feet pounded against the smooth, paper-like floor, breath coming in ragged gasps as he sprinted past the endless walls of books, their burning faces twisting in agony as he passed. The laughter followed him. It echoed through the vast, impossible library, a sound like crackling fire and dry pages ripping themselves apart. And behind him, the footsteps, slow, steady, unrushed, like whatever was following him knew he couldn't escape. Owen turned a corner, except there were no real corners here, just another endless corridor of screaming bookshelves, stretching forward into the black. His heart slammed against his ribs. His hands ached from where they had touched the book, the skin raw and blistered, like he'd been holding something fresh out of a bonfire. He choked down a breath. Think, Owen. This wasn't real. It couldn't be real. He had been in the library. He had been holding a book. He had seen the faceless thing. And then he had opened it. Something behind him exhaled. Not a normal breath. A deep, ancient sigh, like the weight of centuries shifting at once. Owen risked a glance over his shoulder. And that's when he saw it. It wasn't human. It wasn't even close. The thing that followed him through the burning library was tall and wrapped in pages. Its body was a mess of scrolling ink, its limbs too long, its head too wide. Words swam across its paper-thin skin, shifting and reshaping as it moved. And its face, oh God. Its face was a book, or what was left of one. An open book, pages torn and fluttering, revealing a twisted, inky grin stretched too wide across the binding. It spoke, but not with a voice. The words moved. They shifted across its pages, forming sentences in black, writhing ink. You belong here now. Owen stumbled back, nearly tripping over a fallen book. His chest was heaving, his vision swimming. The words pulsed on the creature's face, the ink bleeding into the paper like something alive. You opened the book. The laughter from the shelves grew louder. Owen ran again. The thing did not chase him. It didn't need to. The books moved. The shelves shifted. And suddenly, Owen was running in circles. Every path led to the same place. Every turn brought him right back to where he had started. He skidded to a stop, his breathing ragged. His hands burned. His head ached. And that's when he noticed the books. The faces on the covers. They weren't just screaming. Some of them were familiar. Owen took a slow step closer. His stomach lurched as he scanned the spines, the covers. His mother, his father, his sister. Their faces frozen in terror, their mouths locked in silent screams, their eyes hollow and filled with fire. Owen's vision blurred. No! The ink dripped from the bookshelves like black blood. The laughter rose in pitch. The words twisted on the creature's face. Every story needs a new character, and Owen realized, too late, that this library, it didn't just hold books. It made them, one soul at a time. The thing took another step forward. Its pages turned, and Owen's name was suddenly written across its chest. The last thing he saw was his own face, burning, screaming, as the library swallowed him whole. And then, as if nothing had happened, the whispers returned, and somewhere in another world, someone else reached for a book and opened it. That was the end of Owen's story. But the library of burning faces never closes. It's always waiting. Maybe you'll hear it one night. The soft whispers in the dark, seeping between the pages of books you thought were ordinary. Maybe your fingers will hover over a spine that feels just a little too warm. And maybe, just maybe, you'll open it. And then, well, you know what happens next. Turn the page. Or don't. The library is patient, and sooner or later, it will write your name too. The library of burning faces never truly ends. It is not bound by time or space. It exists between worlds, waiting for those foolish enough to pry open its doors. And though Owen's screams have long since faded into the crackling of turning pages, the library is never satisfied. It is always hungry. Somewhere, far from that impossible, shifting maze of bookshelves, a young girl named Mara Wilkes sat cross-legged on her bedroom floor, flipping through a dusty old book she'd found in her grandmother's attic. The cover was blank. No title. No author. Just leathery, worn pages and the scent of something burnt lingering in the air. Mara didn't question it. She just opened the book. And the moment she did, the whispers began. Soft at first. Gentle. A single page turned on its own. And Mara didn't even notice the moment her bedroom door swung shut. And locked. The library of burning faces had found its next story. And this time, it was writing her in. If you've enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like the video and share your thoughts in the comments below. Have a tale of your own or a legend you'd like us to explore? Let us know. You might just hear it next. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a story. Because here the darkness is always waiting just for you.